Thank you guys for joining me. My name is Madhar from Food and Fragrances. You are now tuned into the Fragrance Lounge. And today's topic in the lounge is 10 summer fragrances that I would like to showcase to you. Now, the catch is these fragrances are not going to be something that you've kind of seen in rotation in social media. I wanted to keep it a little bit more eccentric, a little bit more unique, a little bit more sort of like that chase, that discovery that may get you a little bit pumped up if it sounds like something you like. So, with that being said, if this sounds like something you like, stay tuned. We'll play my music. And when we get back, we will tackle these 10 fragrances that I've curated especially for you guys. Thank you guys again for joining me. We have hit 2,000 subscribers. Holy F. I did not think that it would have been a possibility because, you know, when you start off, you're just like, damn, you know, you're happy you get the 1, 2, 3 subscribers and you're kind of just pumping along. And honestly, I'm still ecstatic when I get the 1, 2 follows, because it means a lot to me, especially as a small channel. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining me, and thank you guys for, you know, subbing and liking and commenting. It means the world to me, and I love talking fragrances. So really happy to see that, you know, a lot of the content that I produce is something you guys can engage with. So huge shout out to you guys. I will be doing my best to bring you as much content as I possibly can. So without further ado, let's get back to the topic at hand. We will be talking about 10 summer fragrances that I've specifically curated for a particular reason. Now, this is not going to be like a top 10 or a countdown or anything like that. These are 10 fragrances that I'd like to recommend to you. Now, the caveat is I really wanted to touch upon fragrances that are affordable, fragrances that are a little bit of a step up in price, and fragrances that are a little bit more on the luxury side. So in this list, you'll get a wide range, none sacrificing quality, which I think is the most important part, and a diverse list for you guys to go out and explore, sample, and, you know, kind of get your nose on and see if it's the right fit for you. Without further ado, we'll kick off into it. Just make sure you guys hit that subscribe, like, share, and comment down below. Let me know what your favorite scent for summer has been so far. And I'd love to hear from everybody who watches this video. So let's, I guess, jump into the first fragrance. Now, for this channel, this is going to be a fragrance that makes you kind of scratch your mind. And hey, it is what it is. But I really wanted to bring this fragrance to the forefront because I've been rocking with this fragrance for a long time. And this is called Fig of Amalfi. This is from the house of Dua Fragrances. Now, you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, damn, what the this is out of characteristic for you. What the hell's happening? For real. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. So let me give you a story about this fragrance. This fragrance, the DNA is Acqua di Parma, Fico di Amalfi. The thing with Fico di Amalfi, as much as I love the scent profile, that thing has about 30 minutes to an hour worth of longevity on me. And I love fig. I love a fruity fig. I love a nice, you know, a nice scent like this, especially for summer. It's just magic. I just can't stand there and be like, yo, Acqua di Parma is the one that you guys should explore, because you'll fall in love with the scent profile, but then the longevity is abysmal. This is fixed in this fragrance. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to be like, yo, you need to explore every single Dua fragrance. I'm not going to be that guy. That ain't it. But this one is, I think, in my honest opinion, one of the best replications of that scent profile, 1-to-1, where it fixes the horrid longevity that I experienced with Acqua di Parma's Fico di Amalfi. Fig of Amalfi from Dua is stunning. And as you can tell, I've had this since one of the earliest stages of my collecting journey. You can see I've made a significant dent in this bottle, and it's wonderful. That fig really sits there. It allows that green, fruity, beautiful, unique type of fruitiness come out with the fig. It feels so beautiful, so realistic, and again, with the beautiful summer heat that kind of plays off of your body, this is stunning. You get some beautiful citruses in here. The sweetness is really well played amongst the ingredients in this fragrance. And in my honest opinion, it's an absolute vibe. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Couple sprays, you'll be good. It is an extrait de parfum. So essentially you will be getting something that is very potent, which again fixes the longevity and projection issues with Fico di Amalfi. So realistically, if you know what Fico di Amalfi smells like from Acqua di Parma, you'll know what Fig of Amalfi smells like. And in my honest opinion, I think this is something worth checking out because it just fixes all the problems that I had with the original. So check it out. See your thoughts. If, you know, honestly, if, you know, it's something that tickles your fancy, definitely worth getting. It's a wonderful bottle. Even though this kind of sits in the more inexpensive category, and I'll say quote unquote dupe category, it's what, 30 ml for roughly like 65 Canadian dollars. So I mean, if you do the math and you kind of, you know, do the cost per ml, it's not necessarily a cheap fragrance, and that's why I don't necessarily recommend going and buying all these Dua fragrances, no matter how hype it may seem, because price per ml, it doesn't make sense, and it's easy to get carried away to the point that you've, you know, accumulated like 10, 20 of these. And when you think about it, that's quite a bit of money put into a 30 ml bottle that, I don't know, is more dupe. So just be careful with that. That's just my honest, you know, take on it. But this one is definitely worth checking out. So we'll jump into the next fragrance. All right. So the second fragrance that I'd like to showcase to you is from a house that a lot of you may know about. It's Essential Parfums. And we're not going to be talking about the one that's making its rounds across social media or the ones that have probably already made it into your collection, Bois Imperial. I'm actually going to talk about a different fragrance, and this is called Nice Bergamot. Now, stumbling across this house, I've actually been fairly impressed with some of the fragrances that they're actually coming out with in their collection. Nice Bergamot is something that I acquired. It was kind of like a throw-in when I ended up picking up a Labo from a friend in our fragrance groups, and I couldn't have been happier. As you can tell, probably features the note of bergamot, which is a very nice bittery citrus type of note. One thing that I love about this is it combines really well with the cedar note. And there's a light sweetness with tonka and ylang ylang. As you know, ylang ylang is a very luxurious type of floral and jasmine. But it doesn't necessarily kind of overpower any of the notes there. It doesn't feel overtly sweet. This feels nice. It feels refreshing. It feels sort of like on the same type of vibe of like a vibrato, but just a little bit, tiny bit more unique. Really impressed with what this house has been doing. I've actually smelled, I think, 3 fragrances from the house: Bois Imperial, Nice Bergamot, and I think it was the one with Patchouli Mania, if I'm not mistaken. And I kind of liked it. Not enough to buy it or add it to my collection, but I did kind of like it. And when we're talking about price point for these, I think you're sitting at roughly about 120 Canadian for 100 ml. You can't necessarily go wrong. It's a no-brainer type of fragrance. It's something that you can put on, feel nice and refreshed. And who's really mad at that? So if you've only experienced Bois Imperial from this house, I do recommend checking out Nice Bergamot because it's done pretty well. It's very effortless. And if it's just something that you just want to kick around during the day and not feel guilty of spraying, this is probably the fragrance I'd recommend. So let's jump to the next fragrance. Now, the third fragrance that I will be bringing up is one of my personal favorites. I really, really enjoy this fragrance, and it's a very, very much so guilty pleasure. A lot of it has been talked about in social media, and I think rightfully so. In my honest opinion, the eau de parfum concentration is the way to go, but this is Hermès H24 EDP specifically. I've tried the EDT. I like it, but the EDP for me is where it shines. And I really, really have this joyous smile whenever I end up wearing this fragrance because it's refreshing. It's pleasant. It has the notes that I personally love in a fragrance, such as oak moss. You have a beautiful woody facet to it. It kind of has like a almost metallic type of feel to it, but it's super, super, super refreshing. Very herbal, in my opinion. I believe the clary sage in here really takes center stage mixed in with the oak moss. It's just, again, something that feels different, especially when you're talking about designers, right? Because designers, you have so many different iterations of a similar DNA. I feel like H24 kind of steps away from that and offers something unique, something new. And if you're into the more herbal type of fragrance wearing, sort of like if you're into the vetiver type of feel, you can't go wrong with H24 EDP. It's just truly magnificent. And if you are going out to test it, or if you do sample this, make sure this is the only fragrance you wear, just so you can feel what it's really trying to accomplish and do. Because to me, when you talk about designers and designers kind of going out and being different, you gotta, like, this, to me, this is a round of applause type of fragrance. This is a fragrance that, I'd love to just keep in my collection until it's done. And I'd probably rebuy this. But this is just absolutely wonderful. And it has a cooling type of feeling to it. So in ultra nice summer heats, this is the type of fragrance that, in my honest opinion, I think would be phenomenal. So if you haven't checked it out, it is widely available in a lot of places that offer, that fragrance sniffing experience at the counters. So definitely get your nose on this. Definitely try it and make sure you get it on skin, and make sure that this is the only fragrance you try, just so you can kind of experience it mano y mano. Because if you're a fan of that herbal facet, I guarantee you this may be something that you'll kind of look at adding in your collection. So we'll jump to the next fragrance. All right. So the next fragrance that we're going to be talking about is a fragrance house that I've mentioned in a previous video before. Make sure you guys check that out. But we didn't really discover it in depth. So we're actually going to bring this fragrance to you guys. It is going to be a little bit more pricier, but it is definitely worth it in quality. And in a, I guess, summer lineup that's kind of, I don't want to say necessarily say littered with a bunch of mango type of scents. This kind of sets itself apart from the other fragrances that are out there. And this is Neela Vermeire Bombay Bling. Now, what makes this fragrance special, you ask? That's a great question. Great question. It's absolutely divine. This is beautiful French perfumery. You're looking at mango, you're looking at lychee, you're looking at black currant. You got some beautiful spices in here like cardamom, caraway that kind of bring forward a spiced facet that adds sort of like a tinge. There's a light sweetness to it despite the sweeter elements that you'll notice in this fragrance, like a vanilla, patchouli. There's a wonderful woody backdrop for all these fragrances to kind of play around. And it feels crisp, it feels clean, it feels sort of refreshing, but it sits on skin with a purpose. And that's something that I absolutely love, mixed in with some yellow florals that add that luxurious feel to it. This to me is a fragrance that sets itself apart because, we're talking about Passion Island, we're talking about God of Fire, we're talking about 1907 from Boadicea. This to me is truly, truly, truly unique and truly well done. That it's something that I think you guys should really get a sample of to see if it's there for you. You're looking at ylang ylang as being one of the notes. You got some tuberose, gardenia, jasmine mixed in with some frangipani. It's done absolutely divine. Like it's a crazy experience. It's really good. So, you're going to have to kind of make that decision. You're going to have to see if it's worth that price point for you. But if you're into the fruity, tropical type of scents with a little bit more complexity and backbone, this one to me, I think is a little bit more evening. I think this is a little bit more special occasion. This is if you want to make a statement, very nice up class type of scent. I think it's definitely worth checking out. And the bottles, in my opinion, I think they're really statement pieces. So beautiful in the display. And it's definitely something I recommend, especially to kind of deviate or give you a different competitive advantage to the other mango scents that are flooding the market. So this is Neela Vermeire, and this is Bombay Bling. Check it out, honestly. We'll move to the next one. All right, so we're moving on to the next scent, and lovely story with this scent. I was at the Labo store, and I was there. I was really like inquisitive of the city exclusive fragrances that they had, and this particular Labo store in downtown Toronto, fantastic customer service. They let me know that they still had some bottles left over from the year before, so I was there. I was just kind of inquiring about, some of the fragrances that were a part of the city exclusives that I had curiosity of. And this one slipped my mind until I recognized that there was a person from Mexico City in the store there. And he was kind of just checking out some of the fragrances there. And it kind of prompted, I remember Mexico had a city exclusive, and it was Coriander 39 from the Labo. And I just kind of put it out there, and I was like, can I please smell this? I have the curiosity for it. I would like to know how it is in comparison to the others, because for me, when I cook, cilantro is something, or coriander is something that I use almost in everything. I love it. And it really just kind of gives that beautiful freshness and a little bit of herbalness and, some of that soapiness that people talk about, but nothing that bothers me. So Coriander 39 was definitely intriguing, and my goodness, what a pleasant surprise this was. And as you guys know, I love my green scents. This delivers on every damn aspect. Cilantro, lime, aldehydes, refreshing, herbal, vegetal, unreal. This is a scent that I really, really love. It's very unique. You're definitely going to want to try this before making a decision. I do not think this is blind buy safe, but if you are a fan of herbal fragrances or vegetal fragrances, vegetal fragrances, this will be a fragrance that is for you. Think on the line of Synthetic Jungle from Frederic Malle. That's what you're kind of looking at, but it's done with a Labo twist. Absolutely stunning. It's a fragrance that my wife loves on me. It's a fragrance that I love on me. So at the end of the day, it really depends on how you and your, skin chem relate to this fragrance. But yeah, this is just absolutely wonderful stuff. And to me, I think this is a sleeper fragrance. This is a daytime. You're going out. You're enjoying this, the sun. It's beautifully nice and warm. This will kind of give you that little extra kick of confidence, especially if you're a fan of it. Yeah, absolutely divine. This is a hit for me when it comes to the Labo. And I'd probably put this at the top tier of my city exclusive. So I guess right place, right time, right? A gentleman was kind of explaining where he was from and what he was looking for at the Toronto boutique, and it just kind of kicked up a reminder, and truly, truly happy that happened, because now this is in the collection. So yeah, try it out, and we'll move on to the next one. Now, the next fragrance that I love to talk about is a newer fragrance into the collection, because obviously it just got released this year, so obviously it'd be new. And as I was holding the bottle in my hand, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, there's a lot of fragrances that I'm kind of showcasing you that don't have too much repetition, which is awesome. So I guess lucky by design, right? This is a brand new release from the house of Acqua di Parma that actually does last more than 1 hour on my skin. And this is the new Buongiorno. If you don't know about this fragrance, go out and get your nose on this fragrance. My goodness, is this a happy fragrance or what? You're looking at spearmint, you're looking at basil, you're looking at a stunning Acqua di Parma like lemon with petitgrain. My goodness, when that lemon starts dying down and it allows the other herbal notes to kind of flourish, this is in a different league, my friends. Honestly, it's such a happy scent. It's such a beachside scent. It's a scent that is really the epitome of sunshine. It's the epitome of sitting on a, wonderful patio and sharing a one-on-one vibe with somebody that you're close to. It's just wonderful, wonderful stuff. You get a little bit of elegance with the cedar wood. You get a little bit of elegance with the white musk. There's, that little touch of sweetness with the amber. But realistically, you got these wonderful greener notes that are just coming out there and adding its own character and own vibe. You got a touch of lavender in here, but nothing too noticeable to add that that fougere quality. No. This is a wonderful summer fragrance. In my honest opinion, that's definitely worth checking out. I paid retail for this and not a damn doubt in my head about making a bad decision. So get your nose on it, see if it's something that you could vibe with. But to me, I was coining this as the summer fragrance of this year. So hopefully it wins an award. If it doesn't, well, I don't care because I'm still enjoying it. So get your nose on it. Let me know what you guys think. All right, we'll move to the next one. All right, so this is the next fragrance that I want to bring to you. And this is a fragrance from the house that I really, really like. I've actually featured quite a bit on this channel. And this fragrance is no different. Simplicity, though, that's what's different about it. And again, from Theodoros Kalotinis, this is Aegean salt and citrus. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had to use Google pronunciation to get the first name right, Aegean. But we got it, and you can count on me to get that right. So, what I really love about this fragrance is its true simplicity. It feels coastal. It feels like a vibe. It feels like the Mediterranean area, right? What I like about this is it has a lovely citrus component in grapefruit where you get that nice sweetness. And then it's mixed in with a salty facet. So it feels good. It feels clean. It feels well put together. And even though it's not a loud fragrance, it still smells good. You still smell good. So when you wear this fragrance, even though you overspray it, you'll still smell good. You just won't be super noticeable. So if it's something where you kind of like the subtlety in fragrances, in my honest opinion, I think this fragrance is the one that you gotta rock with. It was actually my scent of the day today, which I really enjoyed. And again, it wasn't something that necessarily stood out. It wasn't something that was emphatic around me, but when I got hints of it, when it did kind of, blossom off of my skin, it was something that just felt well put together, and I didn't necessarily have to worry, given the fact that it was like 32 degrees Celsius, that I would be smelling bad. So it's just a very comfortable, very low-key fragrance. And, given the price point for these, which is $75 Canadian for 50 ml, I mean, you can't go wrong, especially if you sort of are looking for that mineral salt type of fragrance mixed in with that grapefruit that adds a little bit of that citrus sweetness to it. So really, really awesome fragrance. And again, this house, to me, if you look past the gourmand fragrances that they have, which I'm sure are really good, I'm just not a gourmand guy, they really do a bang up job on, their compositions and providing a vibe. So check it out, see if it's something you like. And again, you're not really going, too harsh on the wallet with a price point like this. So definitely an awesome suggestion, and something that, if you like it more on the lighter side, this could be for you. Cool. We'll jump to the next one. All right. So We're kind of rounding out this list now, but a great fragrance that I really wanted to bring forward to your attention is a fragrance that, in my honest opinion, would be a banger for the afternoon evening transition. Super, super awesome, high quality fragrance, very nice and long lasting and projecting. This is from a house that I've just started to get to know, and I'm very, very impressed with the quality. Again, especially at the price point. We're going to be talking about Nicolai Parfumeur, and this is New York Intense. Now, this fragrance is a gentleman fragrance, just absolutely wonderful. A beautiful lavender, citrus, lemon composition with some herbal facets such as artemisia, thyme, chamomile. You got some beautiful spices. I think the cinnamon, to me, mixed in with the lavender and lemon, plays such a wonderful role together. There's a tiny touch of sweetness. There's a tiny touch of smokiness. But to me, in my honest opinion, especially in summer, I think this is just a well put together gentleman fragrance. A lot of the fragrances that we've mentioned ahead earlier in the video, they're more playful. They're, they're more vibey. You're going to the beach, you're going, out to brunch, you're enjoying your time in the sun. This is serious time, in my honest opinion. I think New York Intense is absolutely divine, absolutely wonderful. And even though I haven't experienced any of the other fragrances from Nicolai Parfumeur other than Patchouli Sublime, which is absolutely wonderful. You got to check it out. I've heard some of the other summer creations from this fragrance house is wonderful. And just think about it this way. Nicolai Parfumeur, forget about the name, right? She was supposed to be the next successor of Guerlain, the private line. And they had a little bit more intention to kind of go with a male perfumer. So she said, all right, F that. I'm just going to go off and do my own thing. And she dropped her own line. And to be that good, to me, honestly, I think Guerlain kind of, dropped the ball a little bit over there, because what she's done with this is just absolutely stunning. So get a sample, but I'm not even lying to you. The price for this bottle is really not that bad, especially if you go on discounters. You'd get a pretty decent deal on this. And in my honest opinion, I think it's fantastic. You go with the lower mLs, the price per ml is fantastic. Transitions extremely well to the 100 mLs. Price per ml is pretty fantastic. So see what you like. See if you like the smaller kind of form factor. But this is definitely something you should get your nose on. If you're a fan of Bois Imperial, if you're a fan of Le Labo Lavande 31, this could be something that you gravitate to more regularly. So if you have tried this, if you know what it's like, drop a comment. Let me know if I'm on the mark with this. But yeah, we'll transition to our more expensive fragrances. So stay tuned. So we are transitioning to one of my favorite houses and I guess one of the more upscale fragrances in this entire showcase. Pretty expensive for what you get, but again, you're looking at exclusivity, you're looking at rarity, you're looking at some of the best materials used in perfumery, and it shows. We're going to be talking about Jinkoh Store. And this is the new release, Sunset in Capri, which unfortunately is sadly sold out. Sorry. But if you do find yourself kind of craving some of the Sunset lines, especially after watching some of my videos, some people do sell it if it's not for them. And, it's definitely something worth scooping up if it sounds like it's for you. It's sort of like that Orige L'Odeur, which, unfortunately the scarcity is there and, you kind of have to jump quick and act quick on the fragrance. But, the thing with these fragrances is they're done so masterfully well. Sunset in Capri, in my honest opinion, is done so masterfully well and is just a happy vibe type of fragrance. Now, Sunset in Capri is different than the other Sunset lines where they feature a little bit more denser compositions, a little bit more purposeful compositions. Sunset in Capri doesn't utilize any oud. it actually utilizes another rare ingredient, which is ambergris. Now, you ain't got to search up what ambergris is, because I guarantee you, if you now see ambergris in a fragrance, you'll probably be like, I don't know if I want to put whale sperm on my skin. But realistically, it's a lot more complex than that. But ambergris is the star of this fragrance in the late dry down. You get some beautiful citrus components, mandarin, Italian lemon, bergamot. It feels very, very Capri like Italian like. You get some beautiful blood orange to add in that sweetness, some herbal facets in basil, some floral facets in neroli. It's just done wonderfully well. Woody background, seaweed to kind of add in a little bit of that kick. But my God, is this a fun fragrance? If this is not on your radar, I definitely recommend it to be, and it's priced pretty well for the quality that you're getting. But it's just so wonderful. It's so vibey. It's a happy fragrance. I was joking with Marius. I was just like, yo, instead of calling it like the sunset line, just call it the sunrise line, because that's what it feels like. It feels like that start to a new day type of vibe, right? It's just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. And, I sing praises about the sunset line all the time. It's just the perfumery and the skill set to craft the vibe that it's going for, right? It's done extremely well. You can wear this during the day. You can re-up, wear it during the night. In my honest opinion, in comparison to the other sunsets, it doesn't necessarily have the same type of longevity, but the storytelling and the happiness is there. It's there. And all the people that I've introduced to this fragrance have been singing praises about it. They love it, and rightfully so. So if Jinkoh store is not on your radar, put it on your radar, especially if you're at that level of artisanal perfumery, right? You understand what you're getting out of your ouds. You're understanding what you're getting out of your ambergris, the storytelling composition of rare ingredients. If that sounds like something for you, Jinkoh store needs to be at the top of your radar. So without further ado, Sunset in Capri, and then we'll bounce to our last fragrance. The last fragrance that I wanted to bring to you guys is from a house that I've just gotten accustomed to, but I am loving, loving, loving. Now, I'm going to say this. It's not a house that I'm going to tell everybody to go out and explore, because I understand that budgets exist. I understand that there's certain dollar amounts that people won't exceed per bottle. I get it. I understand. But for those that have, that drive to pick up that next new thing that'll kind of give them the wow factor, or something that you're kind of looking for a new house and you're accustomed to kind of spending $1,000 on a fragrance, I understand. I get it. This is the house that I'm recommending here, and I truly recommend it with my heart. It's from the house of Krigler, and the fragrance we're going to talk about is Villa America. I got a bunch of samples from this house, and I was really interested. I heard nothing but great things about Sierra Vista. I've heard nothing but great things about Villa Budegard. Again, excuse my pronunciation on that. It's tough when I don't have the name in front of me. Yeah, my apologies. But something about this captured me. I was kind of going over the notes, and I like an aquatic fragrance. And I was just like, okay. I'm like, I've tried quite a few Kriglers. I have quite a few Kriglers. And I was like, okay, let me see how they do aquatics, because a lot of what they do that I like, I love. And my God, when I tried this sample, I was in love. This is just stunning stuff. If you're a fan of aquatic fragrances, this is the fragrance I recommend checking out from the house. It's done so well. It's so gentlemanly. It's so well put together. It's so fresh. It's so fun. It's so everything. It feels like it hits on every aspect of a fragrance. It's an aquatic fragrance, but it's gentlemanly. It blossoms. You put it on your body. You almost sometimes forget that you're not wearing it. And then as soon as the sun starts, or not the sun, but as soon as the wind starts hitting your skin, you get this wonderful, fresh, sea-like breeze with just a hint of florals, just a hint of woodiness, just a tiny hint of citrus that really kind of spark your interest. And you're like, damn, this is that perfume or that fragrance that is setting the tone, is giving me the confidence, is giving me the vibes, is giving me the smile. And not too many fragrances kind of capture that. I think a lot of the list does, right? Depending on, again, your budget on fragrance. But to me, like when you're talking about executing on perfumery, blending in perfumery, and really kind of creating that vibe, that clientele, it's tough. It's tough to downplay Krigler and the price point that they're asking. Do their presentations that the bottles, the package is when you get their bottles suck? Yeah, it does suck. But the quality, I think, of the blend and, the bottle, the way that it looks, I love it. I love it. I love it. And, I've been thinking to myself, I'm like, I have a whole bunch of fragrances out there that are in my cabinet that are sitting. If I seen the Krigler sitting there when it came to choosing a fragrance that I want to wear every day, I'm rocking Krigler, right? I'm rocking Boudicca. I'm even kind of maybe taking a slight step back from Henry Jacques and rocking some of these brands. And, when you got fragrances in that type of category that make you feel a certain way, in my honest opinion, why am I bothering spending $300 on a bottle that I don't use when I got, a Villa America that I really want to just use almost, every other day? So in my honest opinion, I think this is a fantastic summer fragrance, a well put together summer fragrance, a very universal summer fragrance, spring even, that you could rock through day, through night, through any occasion. Even if you want, parties or birthday parties or whatever the case may be, I think this fragrance hits on that note. So that's the 10 that I wanted to bring to you. And what I really loved about making this video for you guys is that we were talking about fragrances in different price ranges, different, categories, but we didn't really double up on scent profiles, which is pretty damn impressive. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What did you think about the list? Are there any that you're interested to try? And I'll put some links for some samples if I can find them. And, if you do try them, please come back to the video. Let me know what your thoughts are about them. Just so other people can kind of be educated about the fragrances that I'm talking about. I'm not just taking my word, but I also love to chat it up with you guys and kind of see where you stand on some of the fragrances that I'm mentioning. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy your summer just as much as I am, even though it's very, very hot. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Much love. Take care. Peace out. Bye.